I have trained you since you were a small boy. I have taught you everything I know.
Afraid of getting beat off the dribble, so they give him space.
James, before the shot clock expires.
Big time defensive stop that the defensive can get.
Looking much more comfortable game after game after game. Bronny James.
LeBron's got to fire it up. LeBron to tie the game.
They get to advance some of the technology.
When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.
When talking about professional sports, the billion-dollar industry of professional sports, it is one of the few places in life where the players on the floor have to earn their spot through hard work, grit, and determination. For basketball specifically, there's not really any handouts to the players on the floor. You're either good enough or you're not. And if you're not good enough, you're going to get sniffed out very, very fast by your teammates as well as competitors. Case in point, someone like Bronny James. Bronny James is one of the rare cases in sports where a person actually made it to the pro leagues off hype, media craze, potential, and most importantly, his last name. As looking at Bronny's so-called career, a flop at USC, a flop in the Summer League, a flop in preseason, and eventually a flop in the actual NBA. Bronny being a pro basketball player, it still boggles my mind. Him going pro, one of the worst career moves I've ever seen from a player who's not really qualified to be a pro. If his camp, his backers had any common sense, he'd be at USC, another big-time college school, in his second year building himself up to be an NBA player down the road. And look, I'll give him some grace, some sympathy, had a cardiac incident almost died before the season started. That right there deserves tons of grace and sympathy. And Bronny coming back for his freshman year was honestly kind of unexpected. Now, with that being said, Bronny post-cardiac incident his play on the court, it was not great. And despite that, his father on social media said Bronny James at that point was better than some of the players on the current Lakers roster. I think that right there is the biggest problem in this whole fiasco. Bronny James clearly didn't earn his spot on a roster or earn his spot in the NBA. Cut through all the BS, he's in the NBA for one reason, and one reason only. To get that picture with his dad playing side by side, and that moment of the father-son NBA duo. If you ask me, Bronny James is a pawn for LeBron James' career. And I mean, look at the facts. Bronny James coming into the NBA, scouts told him repeatedly, don't declare you're not ready to go back to school, go to the G League overseas, do anything but go pro. But of course, pressure from LeBron James, had to go pro, had to be a Laker, and get on the same team as his dad. The father-son moment of Bronny and LeBron sharing the court together could have been a special moment. And I say could have been if it wasn't so scripted, contrived, and downright rushed. For a cross-sports comparison, look at Ken Griffey. When he played with his son earned his spot as the first overall pick. He wasn't there out of sympathy, out of pity, and he wasn't there to be a photo op. Ken Griffey Jr. was a legit baseball player from day one. Bronny James, far from it.
He's hit a few threes. Corner, James, air ball.
The entire Bronny experiment just does not seem genuine at all. And it's a classic case of a sports dad hijacking their son's career to benefit themselves. As looking at Bronny in college, I mean, what are these numbers? Under 5 points, under 40% shooting, under 30% from deep, and from the line was pitiful. Bronny James in high school, a 5-star prospect, getting 19 minutes per game, was absolutely pitiful. And here's the catch. If I told you that player, that production, was a top-tier college player in his conference, you'd laugh at me. If I told you that same player was going pro declaring for the draft, you'd call me a liar. If you told me that player averaged 4.8 points per game, got a 4-year fully guaranteed contract in the NBA as a rookie, you'd say I'm clinically insane. But for Bronny, that's exactly what he got coming out of college. Bronny James at every level, high school, college, and now the pros, has given a pass because of his last name. If you ask me who that hurts the most, it's actually Bronny James. Because think about it. NBA players, NBA fans look at Bronny, and what are they going to say to troll him? You're only in the NBA because you're a dad, you're only a Laker, because of your dad. In some alternate universe, the actual right universe Bronny James earned his spot in the NBA, being a pretty good college player and eventually a good NBA prospect. But the route he took was contrived, manufactured, and downright phony. So again, I ask, why is Bronny James in the NBA?
No idea.
Like I said prior, Bronny James is a pawn for LeBron's career and the ending of his career. Because right now, I can guarantee you what LeBron wants is him, his son, Lakers uniform, documentary ends, cuts to black, over and finished. For LeBron's 20-plus year career, the last memory he wants is him and his son in Lakers uniforms. And again, that could have been cool and meaningful if Bronny actually earned it. As looking back at his Summer League stats versus guys who were going to be 12th man playing in Europe overseas, Bronny versus these guys, mid-tier, low-tier NBA players, struggled in that environment. 8.8 points per game, 35% shooting, 16% from deep. Bronny James in the Lakers Summer League not once was benched, has minutes reduced, or told to stop shooting despite the endless bricks. And here's the sad thing, those numbers in the Summer League are actually an improvement to his numbers at USC. Hard to believe, but they are. Again, Bronny James, brief stint in college, a failure. NBA Summer League, failure. And now of course, the NBA preseason, an even bigger failure. As in 2 games thus far, playing pretty decent minutes, 2 points, 4 turnovers, 1 of 7 shooting, 0 made threes, and a minus 28 in 2 games. Like a lot of NBA scouts said, Bronny James, he's an undersized guard, no major standout skills like shooting, ball handling, or defense. His passing, underwhelming. Shooting, non-existent. His size, build, physique as a point guard, not really there. And watching those 2 Lakers preseason games versus the Suns and T-Wolves, I mean, Bronny in these games looks totally out of his depth, lost in offense, and like a chicken with his head cut off on defense. I mean, honestly, kind of feel sad for him. Out there on the court, looks like a random fan who put on a jersey, hopped on the court, and is almost trolling the audience as a fake NBA player. So that right there is the end of the video, and the entire Bronny fiasco, how I think it'll go. Start of the season, be semi-relevant, maybe a bench homer, 12th man, then about 2-3 weeks in, go to the G League, thrive in the G League, then about game 80-82, the season's winding down, might get someone on the court in garbage time. Besides that, Bronny gonna be a sideshow and afterthought to the Lakers circus. And some might say, Bronny, well, you know, he was a late 2nd round pick, why are you being so hard on him? Honestly, I don't think I am. The coverage Bronny gets is the coverage of a 1st round pick, a lottery pick. And Bronny, unlike those players, hasn't earned a spot in the NBA on a team or a 4-year contract with fully guaranteed money. That is the problem with Bronny James. He made it to the NBA off his name and because of his dad. For a lot of competitors, NBA players, NBA fans, it does not sit right. As always, thank you guys for watching, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.